everyone, and welcome back to an episode of Persona 4 Arena. In the last episode, we finished Teddy's story, and he is the last of the investigation team that we had to do. So, in this episode, we're going to be going on to the SACE member, SEES group, P3 characters, derp, and we're going to be starting things off with Aigis. So, let's go.
I wish you good luck.
Are you awake?
I'm sorry. I had turned off my consciousness to test the new equipment installed on me.
Yes, that's why we use the emergency channel. We've been asked to go into action.
Has something happened? Who sent the request?
We'll brief you on the details in transit. Also, regulations say that the member with the lowest serial number is in command. Currently, that's you.
I'm in command? Are you sure about this? After all,
You're well suited for it, in my opinion.
Understood.
May 1st, 2012, 9:30. Men equipped with assault suits and tactical vests line the concrete ground. Concrete ground. Their urban camouflage and unmoving poses give them the appearance of an orderly line of rocks. 30 minutes have already passed since the special assault team took up positions near the passenger plane stopped on the landing strip. Their captain glares at the passenger plane before he suddenly turns around and looks at each of his men. Every last one wears ski masks and thick tactical visors to mask their identities, but he knows them nonetheless.
Tell me about the situation and make it quick. We don't have much time.
One of the team steps forward next to him. The touchscreen tablet in his right hand has a summary of the case on it. On May 1st, 2012, around 0900 hours, a wide-body passenger aircraft headed for Kagoshima sent out a 7500 squawk code during passenger boarding. Following the signal, the captain reported to the control tower that their aircraft had been hijacked. Since the uprising occurred during passenger boarding, only half of the passengers, 168 exactly, had boarded. The 10 crew members bring it to a total of 178 hostages thought to be on board. Some passengers seated near the hatch had succeeded in escaping. The following points were gained from questioning them. Take care not to be seen by the hijackers. There are 3 hijackers. All of them are covering their faces with ski masks. All of them are armed with what seem to be pistols. From their voices and builds, they appear to be males. They all spoke fluent Japanese. Currently, the aircraft in question has moved to the front of the landing strip at the hijackers' insistence and is stopped there. The authorities had attempted to negotiate with the hijackers by radio, but they had made no demands. The team member finishes his report. The captain nods silently and addresses his team.
There hasn't been a plane hijacked in this country in over 10 years. None of us, not even me, have dealt with this before. Still, the procedure remains the same. Trust yourself, remember your training, and keep a cool head.
The captain turns towards the plane again. Taking that as a cue, the team scatters to their specified posts to take up positions. The only thing to do now is to see what happens. Eventually, 10 comes around. Half an hour has passed already with no new developments. Repeated attempts to raise the hijackers have been made, but they have yet to make any demands. Tensions are beginning to rise. The worst-case scenario is that they have no need to make demands, that their objective is to seize the passenger plane itself. In this case, the team would be facing a large-scale terrorist attack.
Come on, talk to us.
The captain mutters to himself, deep in thought. Also voiced by Patrick Seitz, just wanted to bring that up. At least it sounds like him, and it definitely is him. Anyway, from the perspective of rescuing the hostages, every second that passes without learning the hijacker's objective is a second wasted. The captain and his team can wait in hiding, but the same is not true for the passengers on board. For untrained civilians, extreme stress can easily lead to physical and mental problems. It's true not only for the hostages, but for the hijackers as well. When people lose their nerve, they tend to act rationally. The hostages will begin to lose hope, and the hijackers will begin taking it out on the hostages. An hour into the incident, anything could be happening inside the plane. The captain could do nothing but glare as the time ticked by. After 15 more minutes had passed, a slight change in the situation was reported. All emails and calls going through stations near the airport are being checked. I did not mean to press that, derp. The details of the message, thought to be from inside the plane, are not confirmed. It appears that the hijackers had confiscated all cellular phones as per standard hijacking plans, but...
Sir, there's a report from HQ. They picked up a transmission from one of the passengers' cell phones. It's a smartphone with GPS, so they can tell it's inside the plane.
Confirm those details for me.
There are two possibilities. The hijackers are using a passenger's phone to contact associates outside, or that a passenger is contacting someone in secret. The latter possibility is more likely. More and more devices have communication capabilities now, making it extremely difficult for hijackers to remove them entirely from play. And the more hostages involved, the more courageous they become, and the more likely to take risks. Unfortunately, more hostages involved means it's all the more dangerous to provoke the hijackers. Each individual hostage is worth less to them. The details of the transmission make it apparent that the situation is worse than the team had assumed. The cell phone's owner is a man in his 60s in first class. He signed up with a certain service after being diagnosed with heart illness. It's a remote EKG monitoring service that keeps track of the patient's heartbeat. A scheduled message was automatically sent from the patient's cell phone. The service provider promptly contacted the police, informing them that the man was in bad shape.
A man's life is at stake if we don't wrap this up within the hour. Looks like we can't stall for time.
As panic spreads, a proposal for negotiations based on this fact and a proposal to storm the plane are both considered. But because only half the passengers have boarded, the situation inside the plane is uncertain, making devising a tactical plan difficult. Though, if nothing is done, the passenger will surely succumb within the hour. A blunder like that must be avoided at all costs. That was the thinking that guided the police officials to make their decision. The same day, at 10:30...
What? Withdraw? This is a hijacking! What are you thinking, withdrawing our people? Yes, I understand.
Wait, what's going on?
Orders are orders. We'll fall back at once. Get ready.
No one understood the sudden withdrawal order. Why withdraw the team during a hijacking? No one on the scene agreed with the decision, but the order cannot be overturned. The men here are not the brain, but limbs whose power is best put to use by precisely following orders. Just then, another group approaches without a sound. Its members are dressed differently, in suits and trench coats, but all of them wear black with sunglasses. At a glance, it is clear that they are tall, well-built, dang it, and used to rough situations. With nearly 20 of them gathered in one place, they are imposing, despite their silence. They don't seem to be airport personnel, but neither are they known to the police. However, the captain senses a kindred spirit in them and approaches.
Who are you?
His voice is laced with suspicion, but the man in black at the head of the group speaks passionately as if he'd heard
The
nothing.
next half hour, we're in command of this scene.
You didn't answer the question. Who's responsible for this?
The captain's tone unconsciously hardens. The group of men in black parts, and one of their number in the rear steps forth. The captain can't stop himself from furrowing his brow. He can already sense the unrest spreading amongst his team watching in silence. The one stepping forward looks like a 17 or 18-year-old girl. She is dressed in black and sunglasses like those around her, but her slender build is out of place. Not only that, her blonde... yep. Oh, wait, is Aigis not talking? Wait. Crud, this is now confusing me. Anyway. I'll understand that in contrast to her all-black outfit. The girl walks a few more steps forward and removes her sunglasses. The captain had intended to appraise the look in her eyes, but only gasps at her crystalline blue eyes. He quickly regains himself and frowns at her.
So you're the one in charge?
Yes,
Are you shitting me?
Dang, okay.
there is no time to waste quarreling.
The girl looks at him fearlessly, despite the armed team surrounding her. The unreality of all of this is what helps the captain get over his surprise. Her age and appearance are most likely meaningless. She is clearly no ordinary girl, and heck, she's actually much older than that. If you've all played P3, you'll know why.
Are you not even gonna tell me who you're with?
I cannot.
So you expect me to hand over control of the scene to you without even telling me who the hell you are?
I believe orders to withdraw have already been issued.
Her calm, sweet voice only irritates him. The captain closes the distance with the girl, and while he stops short of grabbing her suit, he glares into those blue eyes from only inches of...
Lady, I don't know what kind of juice you have with the brass, but are you ready to be responsible for the deaths of those passengers?
Your protests are doing nothing to relieve the danger. Rescuing them as soon as possible is my, or rather, our duty.
The girl is completely unruffled as she speaks. It's like she's a machine or something. The captain thinks more dumbfoundedly than angry.
Have faith in us. We too wish to save them.
For the first time, something like determination flickers within those crystalline eyes. After looking into them, the captain finds something akin to resolve and confidence in them. He steps back. Raising his right hand to his chest, he shows the girl his watch.
But you got exactly 30 minutes and not a second more.
Understood.
After the girl nods, she gives instructions to prepare a stair card to the group she is leading. The captain's fist tightens nervously. Since there are few uses for a stair car, quietly moving it in place may make the hijackers think that the strike team is getting ready to storm the plane. But there's no hesitation in the girl's actions.
Well then, move in as naturally as possible while staying in their blind spots.
Eventually, a roofless staircase advances slowly towards the passenger plane.
Closest we can get without them noticing will be about 10 meters from the plane.
That will be more than enough.
More than enough? What's the point of half doing it like that? The captain's annoyance begins to turn to curiosity. If she is replacing the SAT team, then she must have a plan beyond simple brute force, but...
Now, let's begin.
The staircase stops. The girl gets out of the driver's seat. She walks slightly behind the vehicle, turns towards the passenger plane, and sits with one knee up.
What's she doing?
The captain brings up a pair of binoculars to see her behavior more closely. At first, he assumes she is going to use the staircase's movement as a decoy and send her team in from a different direction. Like humans, most vehicles have significant blind spots above and underneath. Yet that doesn't seem to be her plan. Does she plan to make her move while using the staircase as shelter? Is she possibly going to snipe them? Dang it. The captain discards the possibility. It would be foolish to set up a sniper perch at a lower angle of elevation where the girl is now. While the captain mulls over the question, the girl makes an unexpected move. She appears to lower her stance slightly one moment, and in the next, she is no longer in sight. By the time the captain grasps that she is running, she has already reached the top of the stair car. Her slender body launches like a cannonball from the top of the stairs.
What? She jumped?
Even the SAT members voice their surprise. The girl leaps arcs over a distance of over 10 meters. It's clearly beyond the abilities of human being. Coming in the middle of a hijacking, the scene seems even more surreal. The girl lands on top of the aircraft and stands as if nothing unusual had happened. She looks at the aircraft beneath her and slowly turns her head to scan it from back to front. It reminds the captain of the movement of a security camera. He knows it should be impossible, but he wonders if she can see through the plane's ceiling. Eventually, the girl seems convinced of something and begins walking. When she reaches the boarding hatch at the front, she moved her right hand to her back. The captain notices that a special knife coated gray from blade to hilt is in her hand.
What's she gonna do with that knife?
The girl suddenly lowers her stance and slides down the side of the aircraft. Just as she's about to fall, she thrusts the knife into the jamb of the hatch and dangles from it.
This is crazy.
She then uses her left hand to pull the handle and locks the hatch with ease. Once a thick, airtight door juts out of the aircraft, the girl nimbly jumps into the plane. The captain is shocked by her dauntless methods. He begins to wonder if she intends to defuse the situation on her own. The captain lowers the binoculars and faces the reality before him with his own eyes. Who in the world is she? The doubts he had dismissed rise with him again. A warning light goes on in the cramped cockpit. Two people there notice it at once. One of them is the captain sitting in the pilot's seat. The other is a man holding a gun to the back of the captain's head. The light is labeled hatch open. Even an amateur can understand what it means. The man suddenly tenses and stands ready at the passenger's side door. He prepares himself for someone to charge through it. But he quickly regains himself and turns the gun back onto the captain. The man casts irritated glances back and forth between the captain and the door for a while, but eventually approaches the door, his gun pointed at the captain. He cautiously cracks open the door and looks towards the passenger seating. Just outside the cockpit is the first class section. But the passengers were gathered in economy class at the time of the hijacking. First class is empty. The man squints. To ward off observation, or worse, snipers, the windows are down. Coming into the darkened plane, I might ask, from the bright cockpit forces his eyes to adjust. But from the corner of his eye, he sees a gleam of light shining in that's unlike the regular lights. And within that light is a silhouette. But before he can react, the silhouetted figure closes the distance. A hand grabs the edge of the door and opens it with tremendous force. Two quick, heavy shots are fired. The man collapses unconscious with a sound. The captain turns around in surprise to see the intruder, a blonde girl with an index finger to her lips to signal silence. She first lays the man on the ground and then removes the pistol in his hand. On closer inspection, it is only a model gun, supplemented with metal parts. The seam between the parts is in different places compared to a real gun. If taken apart, the disassembled pieces would look nothing like a real pistol. The girl then takes handcuffs from a small pouch on her waist and fastens the man's arms to a seat leg near the window. Even if he wakes up, he will be unable to stand. Though the captain still looks as if he wishes to say something, the girl's eyes meet his and insists on silence as she leaves. The curtain dividing first class and economy class is closed. The girl hides herself behind it and peeks through. There's a man in each of the aisles on the left and right. Neither seem to have noticed her. The passenger and cabin crew are crammed into seats in the back. Everyone's placement matches the readings from her heat sensors she picked up from above the plane. Both remaining hijackers are closer to first class. The man closest to her is only a few steps away. She judges that he can easily be disabled before reacting if she moves quickly. They both carry pistols, but they are the same type as the downed hijackers, from what she can see. These two are mere model guns. The girl swiftly pushes aside the curtain and grabs the closer man's right wrist. The hijacker, caught off guard by the sudden appearance of a slender girl, stops moving for a moment. In that moment, he surrenders any chance of victory he may have had. With a pain cry, he drops the pistol to the ground. The girl uses her grip on his right hand to put him on the ground, then smoothly pulls out another pair of handcuffs and locks his arms to the passenger seat. The man thrashes about, but despite his struggle, he is no better than a worm writhing on the ground. The last hijacker finally recovers from his shock and aims his gun. The girl pulls the button from the other man's sleeve and flicks it towards her opponent's face. The button travels at immense speed, though it was only fired from her finger. The man tries to shield his face, but he was too late and groans in pain while the projectile impacts his forehead. The girl does not let the opportunity pass. She easily jumps over the 3-seat wide center block of seats with one arm and grabs the man's right hand. There, she repeats the same procedure she used before. Their weapons are immediately seized while they are restrained on the floor. The passengers are only now grasping what's happened before their eyes. A murmuring chorus rises.
Do not be alarmed. I have come to rescue you. Your safety has not been secured yet, so please stay calm and remain in your seats.
The passengers erupt in a cheer. There is a sporadic applause as well, but there is a slightly hysterical tinge to it in reaction to the tension of the situation.
Excuse me. We were told someone requires medical assistance for their chronic heart illness. His name is
Just as the girl approaches the center of the plane, she senses a male passenger stand up from his seat. He's extremely calm and quiet as he does so. The girl belatedly picks up on the incongruity. All the other passengers are nervous. It is then that she feels something hard pressing up against the back of her head. She knows without looking at that is the muzzle of a gun. The nearby passengers' cries of relief suddenly turn
I
screams.
with your judgment to stay hidden until an opportunity arose.
The girl is unperturbed as she continues to look straight ahead. The man stays silent and keeps a pistol pressed to her head. She knows there's no danger of being shot, but she is not yet sure that he was the only one in hiding. Left with no choice, the girl accedes to his demands and moves forward. And after about 10 steps, another man stands up as expected.
And you too.
The man doesn't answer. He slowly approaches from the front. The girl is now sandwiched from the front and back. At that moment, footsteps sound from beyond the curtain leading into first class. The two culprits both react at once, but it is too late. Over 10 men in black rush in at once from beyond the curtain. While the girl had drawn the hijacker's attention with the scuffle, the stair car closed in. First, they pinned down the man standing in front. The narrow passage gives the man before her a short reprieve, but it doesn't last long. The moment he lowers the hand gripping the pistol in order to escape, the girl grabs his wrist. So focused was he on the man who burst onto the scene that he forgot about the threat the girl posed. And then he was arrested. He's immediately tripped and restrained once he falls on his back. The girl stands up and looks around. If there were any more hijackers inside the plane, this would be their last chance to make a stand. But no one rises from their seat. She glances towards the men in black, and they nod in acknowledgement. It seems the crisis has been averted. The girl carefully keeps their thoughts from appearing on her face and gives an inner sigh of relief. Soon afterwards, the sweeper team gives a report confirmation that the aircraft is secure. The girl works with the cabin crew to arrange transport for the man with a heart illness before she steps out for a moment. She turns on the blue indicator light on the stair car and waves it in circles towards the SAT position. It is a signal that the crisis is over.
She's done already?
On receiving the sign, the SAT team on standby stands talking amongst themselves.
It hasn't even been 5 minutes. There should have been at least 3 hijackers.
You know what they remind me of is those guys. Like Men in Black or something.
Captain, who are those people? Is that one even human?
The captain sighs with reluctance.
This is just a rumor. But I've heard that the higher-ups formed an unofficial security group in conjunction with a certain corporation. It's supposedly for cases that are a little strange. I hear they have some official standing with the police, too. Though it's all some private enterprise, so technically, there's no authority involved at all.
What? But this is Japan we're talking about.
A search and destroy unit that answers to no department and keeps no records. I've heard them called shadow operatives.
He turns on his own blue light as a sign of understanding and waves it left and right. The response light comes from up ahead. The girl then sees the captain spreading his arms in a shrug and smiles for the first time. She feels slightly bad for them. Her team may have shamed them, though they have done nothing wrong. I should apologize to them later. But then, in the corner of the girl's eye, near the entrance of the luggage carts at the corner of the building, a figure catches her attention.
A girl?
Huh. The girl seems to be about her age and is wearing a plain cape-like dress. The girl in the aircraft feels oddly uneasy at seeing the figure. To begin with, given the heightened security, the parking entrance should be strictly sealed, but the figure looks perfectly ordinary.
May I check on something?
The girl calls to the SAT captain over the radio. There appears to be some slight interference, necessitating an adjustment of the dial.
If you look towards my left, in front of the luggage loading bay is...
But during that moment, she looked away. The figure has disappeared.
She's not there. That can't be.
Crud, is Aigis seeing Crud? Maybe. The girl looks around, but the figure is nowhere to be seen. Where could she have gone in this open space with nowhere to hide?
What's the matter?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was apparently seeing things.
The girl shuts the radio off. Who was that just now? Was I truly seeing things? With those questions in mind, the girl tries to remember the figure's appearance in detail. Also, who the heck is narrating this? I am really curious. Only then does she realize the cause of her unease. The light blue dress the figure wore. It was very similar to one she herself had once. It reminds her of those days when she did not yet have a heart. The girl puts those thoughts aside and returns to the aircraft. The mission does not end with taking the culprits into custody. In truth, along with defusing the situation, securing the safety of one particular passenger was her highest priority. This fact was not revealed to the SAT team. The passenger was ordinarily seated in first class but would have been forced to move. The girl looks carefully through the restless passengers. It is not long before she finds the face she seeks. Looking relieved, the girl walks towards the passenger in question.
Are you all right, Mitsuru-san?
Aigis, I didn't think you'd be the one to come.
The woman who answers has long, shining hair that would make an impression on anyone. Her refined appearance makes her stand out, over and above her calm position in her seat. But Aigis knows the woman well.
In fact, I was surprised to be called on to deal with something like this. The suspects made no demands. What were they after? At first, I thought I was summoned because you were their target, Mitsuru-san.
The higher-ups must have thought the same thing and panicked. Especially considering there's cargo on that plane they wouldn't want made public. Wait a second, that cargo...
Is something wrong?
This hijack seems strange now that I think about it. They made their move before takeoff, which is odd timing. And they forced the boarding announcement to be stopped. I thought maybe it was their way of trying to pull it off with a small team.
Are you saying that rather than a passenger, they were after that cargo? It's true that no one would consider the unloaded luggage during a hijacking.
I guess I need you to check on my things. Though if I'm right, it's already too late.
In response, Aigis instructs her team via radio to secure all luggage transport routes. Moreover, she requests a search to ensure that no cargo has been taken.
Even if you're right, why would they be interested in your belongings?
My usual cargo wouldn't be worth hijacking a plane over. But I was carrying something... sensitive this time. Normally, if they wanted it, they'd have to bypass a Kirijo facility's security or attack the vehicle transporting it. But by doing it this way, they can divert the entire country's attention with a few model guns.
Mitsuru smiles. Aigis can tell that she is impressed with their audacity despite herself.
Mitsuru-san's cargo. Sensitive belongings for a vacation. I understand. Hijacking a plane out of a desperate desire for undergarments. This incident will surely go down in history.
What the heck, Aigis? Mitsuru's eyes bulge at the unexpected comment.
What? You're jumping to conclusions. It's not sensitive in that way. Besides, my underwear is in this bag and... that's it. Enough about underwear.
Gosh, I did not expect that response from Aigis. Okay. She forces a cough and steers the conversation back on track.
Accurately, my cargo contained items from Ergo Research. My trip to Kagoshima was partly vacation, but also to oversee their transferal to Yakushima.
The official name of Ergo Research is the Kirijo Ergonomics Research Lab. Both Mitsuru and Aigis have many bitter memories associated with the name. A pole hangs in the air. But a radio transmission from one of Aigis' team cuts the moment short.
Aigis speaking. I see. Understood.
Mitsuru looks at Aigis questioningly and she nods.
As you suspected. They found that one of the boxes scheduled for transport has gone missing.
I thought as much.
With a small sigh, Mitsuru rises from her
We
seat.
must get it back, Aigis. The rest of the team can finish up here. I need you to come with me.
Aigis inspects Mitsuru's face
Will
carefully.
you be joining the search as well?
Well, I am personally involved, so yes.
In other words, you will officially rejoin the unit and participate in this mission. To be more direct, is it accurate to say that you are abandoning your vacation?
Mitsuru sighs with some exhaustion. Aigis interrupts her silence as approval.
Then I hereby transfer command authority to you, Mitsuru-san. Regulations state that the member with the lowest serial number is to take command. And since you are member number 1, the official leader of the Security Department Shadow Response Unit, also called the Shadow Operatives.
I had a feeling I wouldn't be able to enjoy this vacation for long.
Traveling with cargo from Ergo Research suggests that her vacation was neither relaxing nor cheerful.
I can't allow anyone to be hurt again by the things we, the Kirijo group, created. We'll get this cargo back at all costs. Mission or no mission, I'm making it a personal priority.
Understood.
Aigis answers loudly and snaps off the police salute that she's finally gotten the hang of. I am Aigis. Okay, good, she's finally narrating. That's nice. My official name is 7th Generation Anti-Shadow Suppression Weapon, Aigis. As my name implies, I am not human. I'm a humanoid weapon. A robot, essentially. Though with the right clothes, a surprising number of people cannot tell the difference. I was created in a research lab owned by one of the world's foremost conglomerate. Oh gosh dang it. The Kirijo Group! I was made to exterminate a certain enemy. They are called shadows, monsters born from people's repressed emotions, granted dark life. Shadows can only be defeated by those with special power of personas. One's persona can be said to be the power to wield shadow within. They are two sides of the same coin, though one cannot have a persona if they do not also have a heart. I was given a mind to artificially develop a persona, and a body close to that of a human, so that mind could maintain a personality. A heart designed for battle. A body designed for battle. I did endure some suffering because of my original purpose. But I now have a place where I belong. Somewhere I can make full, beneficial use of my powers. That is the Security Department, Shadow Response Unit. Our nickname is the Shadow Operatives. The Shadow Operatives were formed at Mitsuru Kirijo's directive. She is the scion of the Kirijo group, who created me. She has taken responsibility for shadows. Our objective is to identify and resolve incidents involving shadows by eliminating them. All of our members are persona users, or have similar qualifications. During operations, our guidelines state that the member with the smallest number has command. The number that I was issued is number 5. Though I'm not human, I am treated as a member and not a piece of equipment. Moreover, any number is in the single digits. Good lord. It's possible that there will be missions like today where I must take command of dangerous operations. In other words, I am recognized as having the same life and dignity as humans. Because Mitsuru-san and the others have such trust in me, I want to repay that trust with results. There's another reason I am working my hardest on this case. Soon after the hijacking was resolved, the stolen cargo was identified. Its contents surprised me. The 5th generation anti-shadow suppression weapon. The unit named Labris. She is one of my sister units. She was sealed over a decade ago for some reason, and has been in storage with other artifacts since then. Labris, a humanoid weapon, just like me. It is possible that she has a heart. If so, I want to save her before she is misused. This is a mission, but more than that, I feel that it is my duty, that is a duty I must carry out.